No, I don't want to play my second one.
No,
No.
play it.
I'm sure the second one's gonna be great.
Unless it also sounds Russian.
Anything gets better than that pogrom we just went through.
That
Here we
song sounded so Russian. I was surprised you weren't like, thank God we're being led by a strong leader like Putin.
That's such a funny song.
I think the best part of that is when you say sharing laughter, because it's like the most depressing song I've ever heard. Sharing laughter. My kids have died.
Okay, but let me just say, I have
My
never
mom was eaten by wolves. So
I've never made a
share.
song before. So, first of all, let's play. How many songs has everybody made? I'm up to. How many of you guys made?
You're right. I didn't make any songs.
Okay, so let's be a little kinder with our feedback.
Now, did you make up? Did you like come up with that, or did you like?
No, I did the glass pouring and the glass clinking, and I did
see, that I loved. See, that was the best part. You know?
That was solid.
You're great at that.
And I also did all the voice stuff, but the other stuff is Jahzzar, Jahzzar, and that song is called Railroad Whiskey Co.
It's funny. Jahzzar was the bad guy in Russia's version of Aladdin.
So, are you guys sure you don't like that song and want to keep it and make it our normal?
I'm going to put it in the maybe pile, but
all right. Now I'll play the second song.
But now that I know that the person's name is Jahzzar and that it was the bad guy from the Russian version of Aladdin, I'm just trying to put Aladdin songs in that song now. It's like, it's a whole new world. Hold your breath, it gets better.
More Russia.
All right, here we go. Song number 2. If you guys didn't like that one, I don't think you're going to accept this one as our new intro song. But here we go. I've never made music before. Here we go. Oh, it says screen sharing is paused.
That's good, because I just made me think. Jahzzar is also an open air market where you buy Jarrets.
Why was it not sharing screen? It's all right. There we go. It's growing on you. Should I play it again?
No, please don't.
I don't know. It's as catchy as the plague that inspired it.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Freaky funny folks gonna pitch each other jokes. Let me tell you about these blokes, and we'll start it with the woke one. Jarret Berenstein takes a whimsical extreme, named for progress that he screams. He's mastered the serene. Rob Ryan got that bit brain analysis, is insane emotional intelligence. His takes are fresh like peppermints.
Brett Druck is also there. How about a moment for Brett Druck?
Is this anything?
Excellent.
That's the one, right?
I want to do a deep dive on those lyrics, though, because I caught some of it. It was like, let's start with the woke one. Can you just read the lyrics to us?
Yeah, let me bring them up.
Which I like. Let's talk about these blokes. Let's start with the woke one, Jarret Berenstein.
I may have lost the lyrics. Okay, I'll do my best here. Freaky funny folks.
Strong right out the gate.
Pitch each other jokes.
Pitch each other jokes. I like that.
Folks and jokes. That's a good rhyme.
Yeah, let me tell you about these blokes. Starting with the woke one.
Ooh, I love that. I love it when they continue the rhyme.
Yeah. Jarret Berenstein takes a whimsical extreme. Nay, for progress that he screams, he's mastered the serene.
I love it.
Rob Ryan got that bit brain.
Bit brain.
Originally it was between big and bit. I was like, bit covers both, I feel like, you know?
I like that.
Analysis is insane. Emotional intelligence. His takes are fresh like peppermints.
That's one of the hottest, bars that you have in.
Yeah, you got bars.
That sounds very natural. We all are very hip hop first.
You got bars, bro.
That's one of the hottest rap bar drip beats.
These raps are great.
Rapping is really hard. I don't know if you guys have tried it. It's really hard.
It is. Yeah.
When Eminem came out with that cipher that shit on Donald Trump a few years back. It was one of the last times that I felt like I had an opportunity to sort of parody his style, because every once in a while like that, I want to do a parody or I want to do something like in an Eminem style. And I never really quite got the opportunity because he didn't really have this like a huge hit that like made sense for me to do it after like Love the Way You Lie. I feel like with Rihanna, it was just like nothing like really kind of has captured the zeitgeist. But this cipher that played like during the Super Bowl or something, I don't even know, it was something around there, people were really hot onto. And so I was like, this would be a great chance for me to like write my own cipher. For those kids at home who don't know, you don't need any music for a cipher. You're just spitting that with the music. And that's
I'm one of those kids. I was like, yeah, cipher. I was really glad you explained it.
Did you happen to catch this when he did it, Jarret?
Yeah,
I watched it.
I did.
Yeah,
I didn't know that I caught it until right now when you explained what a cipher was. And I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there and he's like drinking like a Diet Coke and he like drinks some stuff and he's like, whatever, Donald Trump, and then blah, 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 and he just
draws a line in the sand.
Exactly.
That was cool.
So
I was in a parking garage and there's just like a bunch of dudes behind him.
Yep,
Yeah.
100%.
These guys support me. These guys know what I'm talking about. Don't say anything. Just watch.
And so I had also Game of Thrones was rather big at the time as well. So then I went out into the park and I came up with my own cipher that was Game of Thrones related, but it was in the style of Eminem. And I posted that. And then I was like, not sure if people would have like seen it or made the connection to it, but they just loved it. They were like, this is great. So that was really fun. That was like a nice little opportunity. And because it was a cipher, it was like I was copying his style, but I was not doing like a parody. So I was writing my own bars. That was kind of fun.
Do you have that available right now?
You know what? I did post on Instagram. So if I can go to Instagram.com and share my screen, I'll play it for you guys right now.
I don't know if there's anything I love more than how old it makes a person sound to describe an app by its URL.
Oh yeah, I had an old tweet that was like, if you
hold on, I'm not even going to let this finish. Of course, I'm aware it's an app. I'm sharing it on my laptop. Thus, I have to go to the URL.
But it's just the way that it sounds. And when you say the full,
you guys see my videos on TikTok.com.
Yeah, I said if you want to like distance yourself from people, you want less friends or something like that, then just every time somebody mentions Amazon, say .com.
www.
I like that.
Well, before we see Rob's thing, I want to hear the rest of these lyrics. I want to hear the rest of Brett's.
Oh yes,
we did them all. The rest of them are.
Brett gets introduced.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, no, it's you didn't hear that part. That part's pretty clear.
But I missed a couple of lines.
Brett Druck is also there. How about a moment for Brett Druck? And then it's Is This Anything?
That's pretty solid.
I think the Is This Anything? That's the best part of the song.
The whole song is great. It's too long to be the intro, but it's incredible.
How about just Is This Anything? And then that's it. That's the whole intro.
I think it should be Brett Druck is also there. About a moment for Brett Druck.
And
I think the song should start with Brett Druck is also there.
Brett Druck is also there. How about a moment for Brett Druck?
Yes.
Andrew, we've got a song we want you to hear.
Oh, he loves hip hop. He's gonna love your song.
No, I was gonna play the other one. How's it going on Instagram.com, Rob?
All right, I have pulled up Instagram.com/RobRyanRocks.
Read the whole URL. Read the URL for the link too.
HTTP.
The actual video.
HTTP. I had a joke that never really worked, and I understand why, but I always kind of like the concept of it. I remember when I was in 6th grade, and my teacher was the internet was like, this was like 1995. It was just like, the internet is like, here is the internet.
Right.
And my 6th grade teacher was actually teaching us how to type in a URL. And he's like doing he's like reading from a book. He's like, HTTP. And I remember thinking, when am I ever going to use this? That was my joke. But then it became so outdated because we don't use it now. Okay, so we've already been introduced to the cipher. If you haven't seen it, just check it out on your own, perhaps.
Also, watch all of Game of Thrones.
And then watch the entirety of Game of Thrones. Here we go.
Wait, How was I gonna start this again? I forgot. Oh yeah. You see, Cersei, we a melting pot, not the kind that got poured atop Viserys, but the one that's embarrassed by the fact that you got us ensnared in a battle with the queen with 3 dragons? Ah! I'ma stop. Cersei Lannister. I'm about to pop a whoop-ass canister. Ned Stark should have killed her, not banished her. As a matter of fact, if you a fan of her, I'ma draw a line where I'm standing here. I don't care if you a snow or a sand in here. You. Because of your dilly-dallying, we gotta put up with an ice dragon? Even if you had him, you wouldn't even use him to defend King's Landing. You'd probably pop on their back and fly away. Leave your brother behind. I wish instead of kings and your queens is something he'd slay. Oh yeah, and fuck Donald Trump. Wait, how was I gonna start this again?
Anyway.
Wow, that's excellent. It's like I haven't seen that original The Cypher that since Eminem released it, but it was like you did it so well that I was all of a sudden remembering everything that I saw the first time from Eminem. My only criticism is that you look less like Eminem because you're too jacked in that.
He's pretty big.
He did, but you just have like a slender built frame that's too different.
I also do like that you replaced the dude standing behind Eminem with just ladies walking, you know.
Just someone going for a walk in the park.
This is one of your strengths too, because I would never be able to do that with somebody walking behind me. But because you're willing to commit to any bit, that's like no problem for you.
It was like totally in my head and my heart. I looked around. I was like, "Are we alone? Are we cool?" And then like the park, the way it was designed, it just, you couldn't tell for a full minute's worth of time if you were going to be completely alone. So I just had to resign myself to the fact that like people are going to walk by and they're either going to care or not care, and I just have to be like laser focused on like, nope. Here's the camera. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, the guy who designed Central Park famously forgot to account for people doing Eminem parodies.
Famously.
I really like, it's just like, turn the light of the sun. Oh, hi, sorry, I'm making a video. Sorry. Sorry. I'm not angry. I'm not really angry.
It is so bizarre to me to see like people who do TikToks and Instagram lives and stuff like that. It's like, I just would feel so weird because I see them in public places. I'm like, I would feel so weird if somebody walked into the gym locker room or something like that and I was doing a fucking dumb dance. Like I just would feel so embarrassed. But I guess it's just a different generation.
I feel embarrassed when I'm doing a political video and Kirsten is in the next room. I hate
For
it.
sure.
I hate it. And I always try to do it when she's like going out to the grocery store or something. Because otherwise I'm just like, in my room saying the same line like 5 times in a row. Like,
I was just saying, sharing jokes and laughter in an old Gregorian chant over and over again, in different parts of my room while my roommate was home. Just listening to me say this over and over again like a fucking mad person.
I love that.
All right. Are you guys ready to hear from Ruth Bader Ginsburg what our order is going to be this week?
We're keeping that?
Yeah,
yes, I would.
Until we get a better one.
I think that, well, yeah. I think it's traditional.
How about
that
this?
The first
It'll
dumb
be a
idea we
t-shirt.
have is
It'll be
the
a
thing,
t-shirt.
and then that's
Yeah.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
I have another dumb idea, though. and it kind of works here.
Dumb idea.
Okay.
Because our RBG is also red, blue, green, but there's be RBJ, so red, blue, green. And it still gets the GJ wrong, so we're doing it.
I do like that. I like the pixelated colors concept. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, because that could be good for the icon. Like Rob to the
Yeah,
red,
like I'm red and
green,
you're blue and you're
you're
green.
blue. But I already did make the T-shirt, so.
All right.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What is our order this week? It is Jarret, Rob, Britt.
Wait, she doesn't have a sound?
Hmm?
Oh,
not a
she
robot.
has sound. Of course,
not a robot.
Jarret,
Jarret,
do
she
your
has a
Ruth
sound.
Bader Ginsburg. Okay. If in case you need help, she is addicted to justice. She loves it, but she also is a like near fascist about order and like who goes first, second, and third type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay.
But she believes in rights.
Mm-hmm.
She's
This
scholarly.
will be the order.
Nope.
We'll work on
That's
it.
not it. I'm
We'll
pretty
work
sure
on
you
it.
pressed something else, Jarret.
This will be the order. All right. Our order of this. Thank you, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She gets real fascist when she drinks. Our order this week is Jarret Rob Brett.
All right.
Okay. So the first thing I wanted to ask you guys about, I have this joke that I've been doing on the road. The first couple of times I did it, it didn't get laughs. It got applause.
Interesting.
So I did it a couple of times, and every time I drop the punchline, people are like, woo! And it'll make sense when I tell you guys what the joke is. But then I was backstage with Steve and with Rivers, and I was like, I'd love for that to get a laugh instead of an applause, Because, that's what we're doing here, Like, we're here to get laughs, And if I say something that just gets an applause, it makes it seem like I'm virtue signaling or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried a couple of different iterations to get it to be a laugh. They just didn't really hit as hard, so I'm kind of back to doing the applause line. And so I do want to hear what you guys think about both versions of the joke, and if you have any direction. Sounds good?
I want to pause you right here, because what would be so funny is if you said something that was obviously not a joke right now. That would... If you're just like, so here it is. Donald Trump's not the president anymore. Am I right?
Give it up.
Make some noise if you love that we have a new president. What's funny is that's
The
almost
troops!
the joke. That's almost
Wait,
the joke.
is this the joke? Hey, how about a round of applause for Andrew Rivers?
I want laughs from that.
Okay, here's the joke. So this happens after I already do a bunch of jokes about being a weed person. And I go, so yeah, I'm big into weed edibles, but actually have been trying this new drug lately that is amazing. It might be my new favorite drug. I don't know the scientific name for it, but the street name is having a new president. Have you guys heard about this? Oh, God, it is so good. It's totally free. It's legal. All you got to do is remember that we have a new president and just get these, like, waves of euphoria, like, all over your body, And you get these hope visuals, It's, like, so hot, man. I'm on it right now, if I'm being honest. And I think some of you guys are on it right now, too. I can see in your eyes. All right, so that's version number 1.
Okay.
And that obviously got, like, just, big applause when
applause.
I said the having a president part. And then, a little bit of laughter when I do the waves of euphoria part. So this is the way that I tried to adjust it. I go, I'm really glad that we have a new president. But one thing that I did not predict is that I am eating way less weed than I was before. Because what will happen is I'll go for the weed, and I'll remember that we have a new president, and I'll just get, like, these, like, waves of euphoria all over my body. And I just, like, feel really good. And then I'm like, I think I ate the edibles already.
There's no way that you can't get an applause break from that in front of Steve's crowds. For sure. But I do think that you can if you, I personally don't like applause breaks like that. It does make me feel like I'm a magician, not a comedian. And so I get why you would want to avoid that. I think your second way is the better way to go about it. But I think the fact that you got laughs on the euphoria part is that's your guiding light. So you just need to go more extreme with the drug references after that. You can do it the first way, get the applause break, but you have to take it to 11 pretty quickly after that on what you're doing. Like I would like to see you doing the heroin lean. You're just like, "New president," or something, just some kind of crazy ecstasy, some kind of real drug reaction. And I think that you'll definitely get laughs on that.
So you think that I should include those notes, but do it the second way? Where I just start off by saying, I'm glad that Biden's the president? Or do you like the first part? Do you like the first one where I'm like, I'm trying this new drug called having a new president?
I don't like getting the applause, and you're going to get that every time.
Yeah.
But I will say the advantage of that is you're going to go in with full energy to whatever tag you have. And that's a really great thing to go into. It gives you a lot of creative freedom to be as silly as you want.
I agree with Brett, but I like the first version. And I agree with Brett that you just aren't going to not get applause from that. Unless you perform, how do you feel about booze? Because you might,
if you do a non-Steve tour in most of the other part of the country.
So
Well, what's funny is, so we did a show in Madison, which is a relatively progressive city.
Pretty
and
progressive.
I did this joke on one of the shows, and what follows it is me going like real hard against conservatives. And Brett, when we did the first tour together, I was very careful about all my political stuff, and I was always like kind of apologizing for being a liberal. And I'm just so pissed now that I'm older. I'm just like, fuck you guys, you know? So then after the show, this woman came up and was like, I had to leave during your set because I'm a Republican. It was very upsetting to me. And then she left, and when she left, I was like, "Fuck that! I'll do these jokes in front of any fucking Republican. I don't give a shit. They need to know how much they suck." And then we did a show in Stevens Point, which is a much more conservative place, and the bar we were at was a lot of people wearing shirts like, "I'll wear a mask when you take the gun out of my hands" or some shit like that. And I was like, oh boy, am I really gonna do these jokes here? Am I really gonna do them? And I was telling Rivers, I was like, "Do you think I can make it to the door without getting shot? Like after I do this bit? Let's do an over/under how many bullets I'll get in me by the time I get to the exit." And Rivers was like, "Are you gonna change up your set?" And I was like, "You know what? I want to put my money where my mouth is. You know, I was talking a big game in Madison. I'm gonna do these jokes, exact same jokes in Stevens Point. And here's the thing." It was Stevens' audience. So even though we were in Stevens Point, as soon as I said the new president thing, everyone was like, "Wow."
Yeah, sure. I don't see you going down a career trajectory where you aren't in front of a liberal audience. I mean, you built up this giant TikTok following. You're really knowledgeable on this stuff. You're really passionate about it. You're great at making fun of politics in the very strong stance that you take. So for me, it's like you should just keep leaning into it because that's the path you're going down. I don't see you ever trying to reach across the aisle and appeal to the other side, other than just to be like, this is wrong, and I believe this is what I believe is right, and I'm going to be funny about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I mean, those are excellent points, and I really appreciate all the things you said, of course. I think the heroin lean is a really funny thing to try to add. Like, maybe I'll try to do it the second way and then throw that in before I do the tag about, I think I'm already high or something like that. Rob, did you have any other thoughts about this?
Yeah, I think right at the top, right, you're not going to avoid the clapter and the applause, which is totally fine. I think that if you just completely separate it from, and I think this is kind of what Brett was saying, from your tags, where each tag is just like a real play on, well, what is it like, you know, and then you just figure out all these different ways in which a drug can be like this feeling that you're having. I think the specificity is good. Brett, I just want to clarify, were you saying that like he should do like a host of different drugs? Or was it just...
That was just the
whatever
first...
drugs you want, guys. I will do any drug.
We know, Jarret. We've been on our Patreon.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if, like, because the new president drug is not defined yet, I don't think of it has to be weed, so it can be any drug. So what's fun about this is you can pick any high that you want, or you can pick multiple highs. You can be like, it's kind of great, like, and then you can think of like, well, what's a fun ecstasy example? Like, what is something that you would do now that you have a new president that is akin to raving, partying, dancing, just moving around? You know, now that you have a new president, what kind of things can you do?
Dancing and music sounds better. You know?
Yes, yeah. And then on the other days, you're like, I feel like I could just, you know, get a million projects done because I'm not being oppressed, you know, by the whatever it is, you know. So you do a cocaine thing, you're like, and then sometimes I just feel like you can do the heroin lean, you can do a bunch of stuff because it's an ill-defined drug. You're defining the drug.
Yeah. That's really smart.
I've got a tag after that. I'm really, really hoping that, you know, we get another Democratic president 4 years from now, because I do not want to go to rehab.
Because the withdrawal symptoms from the new president are, they are real rough.
Yeah,
it's a 4-year come down. You're just like, ooh.
That just gets worse the longer, you know. Usually it's bad but it's just all bad. It's just all bad. Those are some excellent notes, guys. I really appreciate that.
I had one more note. You could also give a fuck you to the audience, since anytime you know an audience is going to react some way, that's power to you. Mm-hmm. So it gives you a little power to misdirect. And I don't have the misdirect for you, but because you're just saying I'm on this new drug, it's called having a new president. Mm-hmm. You could then say, you know, president, whatever it is, to subvert their expectations, because you haven't clarified President Biden or something like that. You could take that energy and give a little fuck you to just completely subvert their expectations. And I don't have anything right off the top of my head that would be, but there is
really
always
love the new president of Disney Corp.
There you go. Even if that's just a throwaway for a second, it does give you that power. So anytime you're getting a strong reaction that's consistent, that's fun to play with.
All right, yeah, I'll give that a go. So this one I've been doing this bit. I've been starting off my sets by kind of doing this thing, and it was doing really good at first, and then it's kind of faltering a little bit. So I'm still on the fence about whether or not I'm going to keep it. Basically saying like, this pandemic was really difficult for me. I'm sure it was difficult for you guys. So I just want to give a real quick shout out to someone very important to me who I would never have been able to survive this pandemic without. My drug dealer, Squiggy. You're a legend. You're the best. And so that for a while it was doing great. And then it's kind of been, meh, on the fence. And so here's the bit that's sort of like a callback to that. Weed in video games really got me through this pandemic. I would get super high and play the Spider-Man video game, but one of the things that he does in the game is beat up drug dealers, which I don't feel good about. I'm just like, that could be my Squiggy.
Oh, that's funny.
I do like that as a
I want to
callback.
give my drug dealer concussion. I always try to web him up if it looks like Squiggy. But then Spider-Man always says something cute after he beats up a drug dealer. He'll always be like, drugs has got to be one of my least favorite crimes. And I'm just sitting there high as a kite like, I'm sorry, Spider-Man. I let you down. So, I think I've only done that one a handful of times on this tour. I replaced it with some other jokes that I wanted to try. But it was doing like average, I would say. So any thoughts that you guys had about this?
In the video game, he has these little catchphrases after he strings people up.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you beat up a bunch of drug dealers at the very end of the mission, he goes, drugs has got to be one of my least favorite crimes.
Maybe you think so, like it's his least favorite that it is a crime.
Right. I just interpreted it the way I wanted to
We
interpret
really
it.
need to change. I don't want to be beating these guys up, but we've got to change drug policy in this country.
Yeah.
Schedule
His-
1?
his
weed
phrasing
is a
makes-
Schedule 1 drug? Doesn't make any sense.
The phrasing makes no sense. If he's like, rape is my most favorite crime. What is that? Does that
Here are
make-
Spider-Man's top favorite crimes. Top 10. Here we go.
Murder. Creating a super suit to take over the city.
Yeah, really.
And
I hope
rape.
actually now that the line is supposed to be that it's his least favorite crime, because what crime should he like more? Like
He
drugs
said
should
one
be
of
his.
his least favorite crimes. He says one.
Still,
of
it
his
should
favorite
be the
crimes.
bottom tier of like important to him. In terms of all the crimes.
Yeah, it should. Like, dude, Prowler is taking over Oscorp. Like, I'm sorry, but this kid's got an ounce of weed on him, and I had to give him a concussion.
So I liked when you said my Squiggy. That only confused me slightly. Like if you just said that could have been Squiggy, like shouldn't I pick up on that? Like that could have been my Squiggy.
Yeah, I can change.
Because that could have been
too.
Squiggy.
Yeah, I like that more.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say I like the callback a lot, but I don't love the first joke without the callback.
Yeah.
It's like it's cute, but it doesn't. It needs more.
Does this change anything for you? Because I was doing it like this instead. I would say the two people that got me through the pandemic were number 1, my beautiful fiance, and number 2, my drug dealer.
That's way funnier.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's for whatever. I mean, like I know you're gonna flip it. So whenever you're like, just couldn't have done it without it, blah, blah, like everything you say, I'm just like, okay, get to the punchline. But if you sound like you're saying at least something sincere and I'm getting some information from you, I'm like, oh, my drug dealer, I like it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good note.
And number 2 really helped me appreciate number 1.
That's great. That's really good. Yeah, the only
That's
reason
really
why I
funny.
changed it to just Squiggy is because the first version started depreciating value, and so I was like, oh, maybe I'm just dragging it out too much, so I just like cut out the first part. But if you think that adding the fiance thing in there, I'll definitely put that back in.
Really, the version you just told us sounded much tighter to me.
Yeah, I'm not saying that just the Squiggy part, just leaving out the fiance thing was doing better.
Oh,
but
you want the name Squiggy in there.
I'm saying so I was doing the version where I said the 2 people, and then I changed it to I would never have gotten through this without 1 person.
Oh,
You guys are saying you like the 2 people better.
I think I do, yeah.
Expectations better. And I'm saying that the only reason why I changed it to 1 person is because the 2-person version started getting less laughs. And so I thought, oh, maybe the answer is to tighten it up. I tried it just with the 1 person a couple of times, and it's been like about the same.
Yeah.
And so if you guys think that including the fiance thing in there makes it tighter, then I will 100% go back.
is it the first time you mention your fiance in your act?
Yeah, it's my
That
opener.
could be it. They're all
It's
just
my
like,
opener.
oh, damn.
He already has a drug dealer. I I was going to sell him an eighth after the show, but I guess that's out of the way.
That could be funny.
I don't want to start a turf war with Squiggy. That guy does not fuck around.
That could be funny. I'd be like, yeah, you know, I've got a drug dealer, so sorry, ladies, he's taken.
That's funny. Yeah.
That is really funny. I like that.
I'll give that a try.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I know
lady, he's bacon.
And I know I just broke a lot of hearts when you heard those things because, yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so funny. So you guys like beating up drug dealers, and you know that could be Squiggy that I'm giving a concussion to, or something like that.
Oh, you just that could be Squiggy.
Yeah, that could be Squiggy.
Yeah, that could be Squiggy. It's super funny.
You know.
I love the visual of a bunch of drug dealers in the audience, like. Something about that. They're all just like wearing like hoodies, just like, oh, man. Damn.
They had the weed in their hand already, and they're like, oh.
Couldn't do it. Yeah, exactly.
But what about the second part where I'm like upset that Spider-Man is disappointed in me? Like that, it never did great. So
it didn't track for me as much. It's just like you're upset that the video game guy is whatever. Plus, he said it's my least favorite joke. Doesn't mean like he hates you, you know. So you're putting a bunch of layers onto this that I'm like, yeah, maybe. So that's why it didn't really track for me as much.
Okay, well maybe the joke there can be that he says it's one of his least favorite crimes, and I'm like, it's interesting that drugs made it on the list because you know Wilson Fisk has an entire empire.
I wonder where on the list Spider-Man has tax evasion.
Yeah, how come you're never going over white collar crimes?
Yeah,
Spider-Man?
That's a whole premise right there.
That is really funny. Miles Morales might be like, all right.
We got a corporate dem Spider-Man. We need a fucking AOC Spider-Man. But I mean, really, he does go after white collar crime because that's Wilson Fisk, baby. I couldn't do that joke. As a comic book fan, I couldn't in good conscience do that joke.
I've never heard somebody say baby in that tone before.
Oh, sorry. That just slipped out.
No. It's like you say baby when you're like feeling really strong about it. You don't mutter it under your breath like baby. He goes after Wilson Fisk, baby. You know?
All right. That's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for your input. Next up, we got Brian.
Thank you, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I'm a creative person. I don't think I need this preamble. But I'm just going to say that I'm a creative person. I enjoy improvising and I enjoy board games and video games and stuff. So when I hear about D&D campaigns, I think D&D campaigns are like orgies because they sound like something I should be totally into. But then I see the kind of people who do them, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm part of this group actually. That was pretty much the whole idea.
I think it's great. It's a super solid analogy, and I agree that I don't think you need the first part.
Yeah. I was just contextualizing.
But because we don't have catch-ups in the beginning of this episode, I thought it would be nice just to learn a little bit about Rob in the beginning of that joke. So,
but also
so I liked it.
I've been kicking around the idea of doing a D&D style thing for a Patreon episode.
Oh,
that would be so cool.
Really, really fun.
I would love that. Because I've been thinking about doing an orgy for not episode.
That's not for the Patreon. That's for the OnlyFans. Check out our OnlyFans. Is This Anything? The orgy. What do you guys think about this?
Wait. Okay.
Is this a thing?
Is this a position?
I've been starting with this.
I love it. Yeah, agree. No preamble necessary. I think there's definitely a line in there about you go in and you're expecting elves and you get orcs, and that's the orgy. Or you don't even have to misdirect with elves. You can just be like, you go in and then all of a sudden there's a lot of orcs, and that is not the orgy I signed up for. You know what I mean? Like implying that you're talking about the Dungeon Dragon game, but then revealing that it's the orgy.
I really like that. I like the idea too of like when you go into an orgy, you kind of have to select what type of person you're going to be at the orgy. I don't really know D&D campaigns as well, but I assume that you pick a character with relative strengths and other such things. So you're like, oh, am I going to be a bottom in this in this orgy? I got to decide now because that's the character I'm stuck with. You know?
Gandalf the gay. A goblin is also actually, I think, even a better word. How do you end the joke right now?
I just say currently D&D campaigns are like orgies. They sound like something I should totally be into, but then I see the kind of people who do them, and I think I just kind of trail off at that point. I'm like, well, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm good.
This isn't for me.
This isn't for me.
You could follow that up with just a lot of goblins here.
A
and that'll get straight into that. Just covers it all.
Oh, that's funny. I appreciate it. I don't actually know some of the lingos. I appreciate it.
It's just fantasy lingo. I mean, I'm sure you know that from Lord of the Rings and such.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure. I don't know if that was like a real character like that.
Well, I think I mean, there are tons of games like that just they fluctuate, and so there's any number of different terms. I don't think there's a strict Dungeons and Dragons. It's just a style of game.
If you wanted to pick a word that was going to be universally known by people that have played D&D, haven't played D&D, have seen Lord of the Rings, it would be goblin or orc. You know, because there's like a lot of things that could fit in there, but you'd have to be a little bit more, troll. Yeah. You'd have to be a little bit more knowledgeable to be like, you know, nothing but rogues in here.
That one's to the back of the room.
Way too many tanks.
Playing to the back of the dungeon. On that one.
How about this?
Healer, you know,
I show up. I'm like, wow, there are a lot of goblins, orcs, and trolls here. I feel like I rolled a 1.
I know about rolling, so that's good.
I'm trying to. I haven't played anything beyond one iteration that we were bears in a bear crawler with Jarret.
How am I going to turn bears into a sex thing, though, Brett?
But I'm saying I'm
stretch. Making bears into a sex thing.
I think I'm giving you notes that they would be in the general ether for anybody who hasn't played Dungeons and Dragons but knows what it is.
100%.
Yeah, and there's also like different universes. Like there's a futuristic one called like Shadowrunner or something. You know, nobody's gonna get those references. It has to be like Lord of the Rings, elves, and orcs and stuff like that.
Right, but there's a lot of crossover and material in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There should be, you know, a lot to pick from: trolls, orcs, goblins, spells.
Dungeon is a nice crossover for both things. Sex dungeon.
Sex dungeon. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a password to get into a sex dungeon, usually. The same way that you need like a magic word to get into a dungeon in Lord of the Rings.
Here's a good crossover. Speak friend and enter.
I don't know that as well, but you're killing Jarret. Jarret's loving it.
It's a big part in Lord of the Rings when they can't get into the mines of Moria, I think it is. The thing says, speak friend and enter. And they just keep they're like, what do we say? We're speaking, blah, blah, blah. And it's no, speak the word for friend and then enter. And then they finally get it, opens up. But also, if you're having an orgy and you speak to your friend and enter, it means sex.
That is great. Thinking about it, there's so many things that you could do. If they were like down for that, then I could just keep on going on and on and on.
I don't really need to get elbow deep in the mines of Moira.
I'm enjoying it for a totally different reason that Brett's enjoying it. That's why I love it. It's just like, but it just sounds like something that one would say. I know it's real, and that's what makes me laugh about it.
It's the Mines of Moria, and he changed it to Mora, which is but that's what I like about the bit is that I think even if you're wrong about Dungeons and Dragons or people don't know a Lord of the Rings reference, they're still going to be able to imply what you're saying, and it'll still work. Yeah, I think it's a really big bit. This is a big sandbox bit for sure.
That's cool.
Maybe there's like a sex move called the dragon where after you fuck someone, you steal all their money and you sit on it.
It's called the Rihanna.
No, I think of Cardi B. Cardi B,
that's right.
Cardi B
that's
steal
right.
people's money.
Oh, yeah.
Rihanna has that song, Bitch Better Get My Money. That's what I was thinking of.
It's a classic.
Actually, I think that's Rihanna. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that is Rihanna. Yeah, there's a lot of meat on that bone, Rob. I like that idea. It's a solid analogy.
Are we done? Because I feel like we could. I just want to keep going with this bit.
That was a Smaug reference. I did know that.
Smaug.
Smaug. I don't know how you pronounce it exactly.
Well, there's also smegma, which is like
there is smegma. That's true.
It just sounded so much like a mom. Oh, there is smegma. I didn't think they would have that as Whole Foods, but yeah, here it is. Next to the beans.
Brett's correct in that rolling a 1 is bad.
Yeah. So I believe it is called a critical fail.
What's that in sex?
I guess a critical fail for an orgy would be coming too fast and then just,
And then
sort of,
just not
like,
being part of
hanging
the
out,
orgy.
you know, taking a nap.
Right.
I know we mentioned Friends before here, but this scene where it's a flashback episode. So Ross is again with his wife still, who, if you know from the beginning of the series, she leaves him for a woman. She wanted to be a lesbian. He didn't realize. And so now, since it's a flashback to before the series started, now they're together. But we get to witness the time when his wife Carol wants to do a threesome with this woman Susan, who she eventually leaves him for. And then he is talking to Joey afterwards, and Joey's all into that like threesome story. And he's like, yeah, like we had threesome. Like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. He's like, yeah, it was. He's like, well, you know, my part ended kind of quickly. And he's like, well, I mean, sure, you know, still pretty awesome. He's like, yeah. I mean, it was awesome. He's like, but then they kind of kept going, and he's like, but you got to watch, right? He says, oh yeah, I got to watch, and it was, you know, he's like, but then, you know, I kind of got a little bored, so I went into the kitchen and made a sandwich. He's like, how was the sandwich? He was like, it was good. It was really, it's like a turkey sandwich. That sandwich sounds good. He's like, it really was. This is a stupid thing. So.
That's great.
I believe it was an alternate universe episode.
Yeah.
Where,
If Monica had not lost the weight and if whatever.
If Ross had not gotten divorced and just kept on doing karate.
That is what it was. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It was an alternate reality present. Good call on that. I would not have wanted to had to read the emails. But you're right. As I was saying it, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would that be the case? But you're right. That was different. There was a flashback episode, but it wasn't that.
There was.
So for the joke, I have another line. I show up and I'm like, I think I'm going to keep my sword in its sheath. Sheath.
Could you give it like a fun fantasy name for your sword? In Game of Thrones, there's like Oathkeeper, you know.
Oh, that's like funny. Yeah.
In Lord of the Rings, there's Sting, you know.
Right. Cave
poker. Cave poker.
You poke a cave.
You know, the old cave poker.
That's what I like about it, because it works in sex, but not really in Dungeons.
No, it does not work in sex.
Jarret,
it does not work in sex. You do not poke with it.
I don't know how you do sex, but I poke. I poke all 3 caves. Thank you very much.
You just poke. Well, that was good. Did you come?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I really enjoy, aside from like an endless list of just things, words that match, like I always kind of like the story of it. Like, I haven't arrived to the thing yet. Now I'm here and I don't want to be here. That's why I like the rolling idea. Like, oh geez, I must have rolled a 1. Maybe I engage in the orgy, or maybe I'm not, or something along those lines. So like kind of 1 for each before I'm out. Seems like a nice psychological thing for me. So
either way, I leave saying later, nerds. It's funny to me. Picture somebody leaving an orgy saying later, nerds.
That is really very funny. Either way, I leave saying later, nerds. Because there's something weirdly nerdy too about orgies, like, and I mean, like, you really think that, like, oh, surely hot people congregate and just fucking do this the way they do in porn, and then anyone who's like into that world, you're just like, okay.
That TV series Real Sex on HBO.
I think I saw like an episode of that. I remember the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just remember being a kid being like, ooh, real sex. Oh, I hope my parents don't catch me watching this. And then you turn it on and you're just like, oh, this is real sex. No, I like some fake sex.
I want fantasy sex. It's so funny because it kind of reverts right back to the fantasy world thing.
I hooked up with a person who was in an ethical, non-monogamous relationship, and she was very into the kink world, but she was the good kind of nerd. She had an Excel sheet with all of her kinks and like what she did like doing, what she didn't like doing. And then also she did one of the best things after we had sex the first time. She gave me a report card on and it was like, she decided, it was so fucking funny.
You probably got a good grade. Otherwise, this would have been a story of, you know, one thing I didn't like that she did, was she gave me a scorecard afterward.
Yeah, she was like, she basically gave me very high marks. Except, actually, you know what? I probably have it.
Ooh,
But it was like one of those kindergarten report cards, like doesn't play well with others. Oh, I understand.
It was close
Poor
to that.
conduct and attitude.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Humanities, though, A+.
Oh, I got it right
okay.
here. Okay, we got. What did I miss?
A genuine spit take from me.
I said
Oh
I
man!
said cave poking.
Cave
C. And Rob spit out his drink.
Oh man! All right.
Cave poking. I don't know why.
Also, this is like it. It fully looks like a report card. It says student Brett Druck term, and then like the date.
Wow.
It's
It's
great.
very
Okay.
creative. I like.
Oh
her.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Sex A+, choking A, butt stuff F, kink
Wait,
B.
hold on. Wait, pause.
Butt stuff F. You can't just skip over.
In the comments, it's explained. As Brett expressed little to no interest in butt stuff, we will not be enrolling him in this course for a second term. He shows promise with regards to kink, but there is room for improvement. Materials to assist his progress in this course will be provided. It has the grading scale. It has I certify Brett Druck. It has the date and a signature.
That's so funny. Wow,
Yeah.
she's great.
Does that mean that you did butt stuff, but not well, or wasn't?
No, I
into
don't.
it?
She said in the comments that he didn't have any interest in butt stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
any
have
interest
zero
stuff.
interest in butt stuff.
Well, then she should have given you an incomplete. To be honest, like giving you an actual grade as an F that's going to pull your average down. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I agree. She should do it more like the SATs, I think. Anything else for Rob's bit?
I feel like I could keep going for hours, but should probably move on.
We'll call it there.
I'll let Rob write a little bit of the bit.
Later, nerds. That's super funny. I love that.
Next up, we got Brett Druck.
Okay. I try to be polite, but it is pretty hard. For example, if somebody has some bad breath, there is a polite way to tell them that they have bad breath that's not insulting and everybody's happy. And I feel like if I do this in front of an audience, I might have a good way to go with crowd work there and be like, what do you think that is? And ask people. I'm sure I'll get some weird answers. Maybe people just answer and I can go along with the bit.
Right. Gum.
But yeah, you offer them gum. But there's no way to do that for BO. You can't be like, hey, Gina, do you want a stick of gum for your body?
I'm trying to think of like if there's other, because I would hate for it to be a 1-to-1. I would hate for it to be you offer them gum for their bad breath, you offer them gum for their body odor. Would your armpit like a mint?
That's really funny.
Would your armpit like a
Because
mint?
the image of just like sticking a mint in between the crack is great.
Yeah.
With your armpit like a mint. I really like that actually.
Okay.
Like even just the flipping of the word, gum or mint and placing it towards the end did do like a nice thing for that joke.
Yeah.
Would your armpit like some gum or a mint? That
Mint is
switch
also-
alone is nice.
It's just also just a funnier word than gum.
Yeah, mint.
Yeah.
Would your armpit like a mint?
Yeah, that's great.
When you're in a relationship, one of the ways that they say that if you want to have your significant other lose weight is you offer to work out with them. If you offer to take a shower with them or something,
That's funny.
it's a stretch, but maybe there's something there.
The idea that they're not my fiance and I'm like, hey, want to take a shower together? That's very funny. It's like, I can't do that. Yeah, I actually like that a lot. Like, yeah, if you want to help somebody lose weight, you offer to work out with them. But if somebody's got BO, again, you can't be like,
Yeah.
hey, want to take a bath with
Why
me?
don't we take a shower together?
Right. I like that a lot.
You ever take a shower and feel lonely?
We should take a shower together sometime.
Don't you think friends can just take showers together sometimes?
At the Steel City Arts Foundation, there's a really nice shower that has like 2 separate shower heads. And when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so great! We can all take a shower together." And there was 3 of us. It was me, Steve, and Rivers. And Steve was like, "There's only 2 shower heads," and I was like, "Okay, I call Rivers." Steve, you got to shower by yourself. You're a loser.
I love that. Just maybe think of 2 things. One is I don't really love like sometimes couples will shower together, and I've just never really like been into that. And then if I ever got pushback, I'd be like, well, we could just we don't have to fool around. We can just shower. And I'm like, but that's the weirdest part. Like, if you're just, I was like, then I might as well just shower with a stranger. Like, if there's nothing sexual going on, then you're like, well, I can do it with the room. You made me think of that, which kind of made me laugh. The other thing I was thinking related to your joke was with the bad breath thing. Usually you can blame it on something innocuous. You might be able to like, oh, did you have like garlic earlier today? Or did you have like a whatever, like, then you might be able to get away with that. Where it's like you're questioning like what they ate. But again, just harder to be like, did you like eat garlic earlier and then not shower for like a week? Because I'm noticing like a funk coming out of everywhere.
Do you have kimchi in your butt? I love, because I feel like armpits is like the go-to. I think we need to start working on where else you can go.
That's true.
Another way you can deal with bad breath is just be like, oh, did you have kimchi? Did you have Indian food or something? But you can't be like, is there garlic in your butt? I think that we've attacked this joke from all three holes. All three caves.
How can you tell without poking?
For that, I'll need cave poker.
Cave wanderer?
New shirt. Cave poker.
Cave poker. Every episode, a new shirt.
You joke, but that's where my brain is at right now.
I'd like that. Just always have new shirts. And then just every week, check out from last week's episode, Cave Poker. And we just keep on recycling new shirts.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I really like the mint line, and it's a little bit more for me to play with there.
And garlic in your butt, of course.
Garlic in your butt.
I'm going to be honest. I did not like that.
Mm-hmm. The only reason why you wouldn't love it is because you like putting garlic in your butt, and it hits a little too close to home.
I don't know if you remember my report card, but I do not like that.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching our episode. Let us know which songs you like, if you have songs for us, and we will see you next week.
Thanks so much for watching. Check back every Monday for new episodes, or you can listen wherever you enjoy podcasts. If you want to help support the show, tell your friends how much you like Is This Anything? Or get involved, like an episode, share, comment, subscribe. If you want more Is This Anything, you gotta join our Patreon at patreon.com/ITAPod. We have a ton of awesome exclusive content on there, and you can join for as little as $1 a month. Check out the links in the description, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Is this anything?
Freaky funny folks gonna pitch each other jokes. Let me tell you about these blokes, and we'll start it with the woke one. Jarret Berenstein takes a whimsical extreme, named for progress that he screams. He's mastered the serene. Rob Ryan got that bit brain analysis, is insane emotional intelligence. His takes are fresh like peppermints.
Brett Druck is also there. How about a moment for Brett Druck?